So today we are going to start on our backs. You won't need any specific props, although if you practice yoga regularly and you have any blocks or anything nearby that you like to use, you can definitely have those on hand. But laying down, find a comfortable position for you to be on your back for a few minutes. So if that means having your feet long on the mat, hands out next to you, or if it's not comfortable for you to be laying completely on the ground, you can bend your knees, put your feet wide on your mat, and have your knees knocked together. This opens up the low back and gives you the opportunity to really relax into the posture. So once you arrive here on your back, in your space, on your mat, gently close the eyes and start to tune into your surroundings. Be aware of the space that you occupy, wherever it is that you're at. Notice the sensation of the air on your skin. Bring your attention to how your clothing feels on your body. Start to observe any sounds that you can hear in the space around you. What's the farthest away sound that you can hear? What's the closest sound? Pay attention to the sound of your breath. You may have to listen very closely. And then start to notice how the breath feels in your body. Where do you notice your breath the most? Is it in your abdomen? Your belly rises and falls? Is it higher up, maybe in your chest? Or is it the feeling of air passing through your nostrils? Wherever it might be that you can notice the breath the most, pay attention to that place. And then begin to deepen your breath. Taking a fuller breath in by really expanding through the chest and the stomach, pushing out through the ribs. And then as you exhale, take a nice, slow, deep exhale and really actively push the air out, really contract. And then for your inhale, really pull as much air in as you can. And when you feel as though your lungs are full, take one more sip of breath and hold the breath here for a count of 3, 2, 1. Then exhale slowly for 3, 2, 1. Hold in this exhale, this waiting period, this pause. And then slowly inhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Do this cycle of breath one more time on your own. Slowly allow your breath to return to normal. I'll offer a short reading about growth from Young Pueblo's Inward. There is not a single moment when change is not present. The constant of the universe, the motion of impermanence, is observably evident in the world around us and the world within us. If we examine nature, it is clear that everything is in a constant state of dynamic change. Trees are a great example. In cycles, they alternate from experiences of growth to experiences of releasing, all the while alive, all the while growing. If we are refusing to grow, then we are moving against the flow of nature. The flow of change is so powerful that resisting it can only cause difficulty. Sometimes growth hurts, but it is the type of pain that is easier to endure because it is helping us come forward as a better version of ourselves. Take a full breath in. Open your mouth and sigh it out. One more like that. Inhale, fill up. Open your mouth and let it go. Slowly invite movement into the body as you maybe wiggle fingers and toes. And then bring your arms back overhead for a full body stretch. Reaching your arms nice and far back, really opening up here through the chest and reaching your feet away from you. Finding a lot of length here. And then on an exhale, bring the knees in toward the chest. Rock a little bit side to side. Go ahead, take another full body stretch, stretching your feet away from you. Your hands reach away from you. Get as long as you can here. And then just this time, pull the right knee in toward your chest. Go ahead and hug it in. Give it a nice squeeze. And then start to rotate your right foot toward the right. Do a couple rotations here in this direction. And then switch and start moving counterclockwise in circles toward the left. Then point and flex your foot. Wiggle the toes. Really wake up all through the feet. And then go ahead and hold on to the back of your right thigh and start to extend your right leg toward the ceiling as if you could stand on the ceiling with the sole of your right foot. Keep a little micro bend in that right knee so we're not hyperextending. The goal is not perfectly straight. The goal is to get some nice tension in the hamstring. And then any amount, you can pull the right leg toward your chest. Try to keep the foot engaged here. And then on an exhale, begin to bend the knee and bring your right shin parallel to the mat. Then you can put your right hand down on the mat, put your left hand on your right leg, and start to slowly pull your right knee down toward the left for a twist. So as you move, you may notice that it might be a bit more comfortable if you scoot your hips over to the right before you drop your right knee down to the left, just depending on kind of what your mobility is on this beginning part of class for this twist. So just take a nice twist that feels gentle for you, and maybe you glance over toward the right. Doing our best throughout class to stay in touch with the breath. So when you're in a pose that you might be holding for a few moments, rather than letting your mind wander or getting caught up in a thought, try to just be with your breath and use that to pull you back to the space. On an inhale, bring your right knee back in towards center. Bend your left leg so that your left foot comes onto the mat. Your right foot is still off of the mat with the knee bent, and then slowly bring the right ankle toward the left thigh. We're coming into a figure 4 stretch here. And then you can grab on to the back of the left thigh and pull this shape toward you. If that's too much, you're more than welcome to keep your left foot on the mat. This can be enough of a stretch. And if you do hold on to the back of your left thigh, perhaps you use your right forearm to kind of encourage your right leg and right knee out toward the right. You'll really feel this throughout your outer right hip and glute. And when this pretty tight area of our body starts to open up, we need to breathe into it. So take a nice full breath in. Pause at the top and then slowly release the breath. And as you release the breath, can you release any little bit of tension that might be holding that you aren't even really aware of? On an exhale, lower your left foot to the ground. And then bring your right foot down next to your left. Bring your feet as wide as your mat. And then take both your knees toward the right. They almost come down to the ground. Inhale brings your knees back through center. Exhale, move them over toward the left. And you'll do this a couple of times, just windshield wipering the legs back and forth before we transition to the other side. All right. So this time, straighten the right leg, or you can keep it bent if you'd like for these few movements that we're doing on the left side. So option to have it straight or bent. And then bend the left knee in toward your chest. Squeeze the left knee in, begin to feel that opening in the hip, and then start to rotate your left ankle and move your foot toward the right. We'll take a few, maybe 5 rotations clockwise, and then switch, moving counterclockwise. Noticing here where you might be feeling tight, and that this side is definitely going to be different than the other side. Then you can start to point and flex your foot, wiggle through the toes, really just try to crunch your foot up and then spread it wide. Get all those little creaks out of there. And then grab onto the back of your left thigh as you start to slowly straighten your left leg as if you could stamp onto the ceiling with the sole of your left foot. Maybe you have a micro bend in the knee. I know I do, just to kind of help protect it and really engage through the hamstring here. So we want to find strength as much as we're looking to open up and get a little bit more flexibility. And maybe on an exhale, you slowly start to pull your left leg, keeping it straight toward your chest. Maybe it moves just half a centimeter, but it helps to just engage a little bit more. And then on an exhale, start to bend that leg, bringing the shin parallel to the mat. And you're going to grab on to the outer edge of your left leg with your right hand this time as you lower your left hand down, and then slowly bring your left knee over toward the right for this gentle twist. And when we're in a supine twist like this, we really want to think about just letting gravity do the work for us. So we're in this twist, and once we put our body into this shape, we really don't have to hold on too tight, and we can hold a lot of tension in our bodies when we're doing a yoga practice, when we're just sitting at our desks or sitting on the couch even. So it's good to pay attention to what it feels like to really release that tension. So try to relax as much as you can here into this twist. On an inhale, bring your left knee back through center. You're going to keep the left leg where it is. Bend the right leg if you haven't already. Make sure you plant your right foot on the mat, and then bring your left ankle toward your right thigh for our figure four on this side. You can stay here with the right foot lowered, or you can inhale, bring the right thigh forward, holding on to the back of the right thigh. And then continue to encourage your left knee out toward the left. Just gently observe how this feels on this side, and take a nice full breath, paying attention again to releasing where we might be holding on the exhale. Take one more breath here. Exhale, lower the right foot, release the left foot from the right leg, spread your feet wide again, and then do that same windshield wipering of the knees back and forth. All right, then go ahead and bring your knees back in toward center. Grab onto the back of your thighs and start to rock back and forth on your spine. If you want to get a little bit of a massage of the spine, you can keep rocking. And if this is not comfortable for you, you can just go ahead and push yourself up to a seat, however you'd like to get there. And we'll meet in a seat with our legs crossed. So sitting with your legs crossed, go ahead and just situate yourself. Make sure you have a nice tall spine, shoulder blades pulled together, sit bones down. The spine is lifted. Bring your arms out beside you, and as you inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, lower. And when we do these movements, continuing here with your breath, inhale up, exhale, lower. We want to be thinking about moving intentionally. So as we sweep up, we're really engaging through the arms. We're reaching as we're moving. And as we lower, we're having some restraint as well with the way that we lower. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, reach up. This time, keep your left arm lifted. Right arm comes down. Walk the right fingers out toward the right as you begin to slowly extend your left arm out toward the right as well. And maybe here you bend into that right hand just to be able to get a little bit closer, a little bit more stretch. And then maybe as you inhale, you open up a little bit, perhaps bringing your gaze up or down. One more breath, opening up here on this side. And then inhale, sweep your left arm up, come back to your seat. This time, inhale, arms reach up, left arm remains lifted, lower, wait, no, other side. We're doing the other side of what we just did. So go ahead and lower your left hand this time, excuse me, and stretch open on the right side. Maybe you lower down a little bit. Maybe you lift up, keep a nice broad chest. Sometimes us yoga teachers try to do things like mirror, but it's hard to mirror when there's nobody else to mirror. So that's me basically inhale, come up, trying to do the opposite so that it matches the side from the video. Anyway, go ahead and switch the crossing of your legs. And then go ahead and bring your hands out in front of you and just walk them forward a little bit. Intent into the fingers. So your fingers are on the fingertips are on the mat or on the floor, wherever you're at. But the rest of your palm and hand is lifted up. So as you tent your fingers and you reach out, start to feel this opening and the spreading through the shoulder blades. And then maybe you walk the hands out a little bit wider. And just start to observe sort of these sensations and this opening through the upper back. And then slowly walk your hands back in, keeping your spine rounded with your chin tucked in toward your chest. Put your hands on your knees, and then on an inhale, pull your chest forward and look up. We're going to do a few more like that with our kind of cat-cow, keeping your hands where they are. Exhale, bring your chin in toward your chest, round through the spine. Inhale brings your chest forward, look up. Exhale, chin toward chest, round through the spine. One more time, just like that. Inhale, reach forward, look up. And then exhale, round through the spine. Really exaggerate the shape here. And then come back to neutral. We'll make our way to hands and knees, tabletop. If you are interested in playing any music and you haven't put any on yet and you have another device that you can play music from or anything, now would be a good time to put some on. Go ahead and begin here with just a couple cat-cows. Inhale, chest reaches forward, look forward, exhale, spine to the sky. We'll do just a few of these. Maybe you take a couple hip circles. This is really the time to find some more organic movements if that suits you. Maybe you close the eyes and just pay attention to the shapes that your body is craving right now. And then when you're ready, lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Here in your first down dog, begin to bend through the knees, maybe pedal the feet, walk the dog. You move your hips from side to side. Just find whatever shapes you're kind of used to. What is your perfect sort of setup for your down dog? And then when you're ready, bend well into the knees, gaze forward toward your hands, and walk your feet toward your hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. So hands are on legs, shoulder blades pulled together, nice long spine, gaze is down. Exhale, hands to mat. Right foot comes up and back. Lower it down. Lower the right knee. Find your stability. Push your left heel into the mat, top of the right foot into the mat. As you inhale, arms reach up. Take a nice full breath in here. And a full breath out. Want to make sure that your left knee is over your left ankle to the extent that you can get there. You don't want to be too far forward in that front leg or too far back. And then you just want to notice that your hips are both pointing forward. And if you're feeling any tightness anywhere, you can just shorten the stance a little bit to make it a little bit more accessible for you. On an exhale, grab onto your left wrist, grab onto your right wrist with your left hand, and then start to arc over toward the left. So this should exaggerate and just tap in a little bit more into the right hip flexors that we're stretching here. Take a nice full breath in and out. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale back to center. Exhale, hands to mat. Right knee lifts up, left foot comes back. Exhale, lower the knees down, and then lower the chest to the mat. We'll inhale for a baby cobra, shoulder blades pull together, lift the head and chest. Exhale, lower down. One more like that. Inhale, pull your shoulder blades back. Elbows are tucked in nice and tight. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up again, maybe this time for a fuller cobra. And then as you exhale, begin to move your hips back and up for downward dog. Inhale, right foot comes up and back. Exhale, bring your right foot between your hands, lower your left knee down. Push into your right heel and push into the top of your left foot. And inhale, your arms reach up for your low lunge on this side. Again, you're really engaging through that right heel, top of the left foot. Feel your glutes engage here, especially on the left side. And then on an exhale, grab onto your left wrist with your right hand and start to arc over toward the right. Focus on breathing into the left side here. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Left knee lifts, right foot comes next to your hand. You can lower all the way or halfway for your chaturanga. Inhale for your back bend, cobra or maybe upward facing dog. And exhale, hips up and back. for downward facing dog. Take a nice full breath in here. Open your mouth and sigh it out. Exhale, bend into the knees, look forward, make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, lifts you halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Take a moment here to close your eyes and push your thumbs into your chest and just start to notice this feeling of energy building and moving through the body. Tune back into your breath. And bring an awareness to this sensation of growth and change. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, hands to mat. Feet come back, high plank. Exhale, lower all the way or halfway for your chaturanga. Inhale for upward dog or cobra, and exhale for downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot comes up and back. Exhale, right foot comes between your hands. Once you have your balance here, you can lower the back knee. You can also keep it lifted. We'll inhale, reach up for a crescent lunge. Pause here for a moment, get your stability. You can always have the option of bringing your hands to your hips if that's a little bit more manageable for you. And if you're not quite getting your posture right, you can always bend into the back knee to kind of find your footing and then re-straighten it. We're going to find a little bit of movement in this pose. It can help us to sustain it for a little bit longer. So I'll encourage you, our inhale movement is here with our arms up. And then exhale, start to hinge forward. Bring your arms back behind you for airplane arms as you lean forward about 45 degrees. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come forward, airplane arms. Two more like that. Inhale, exhale, back. One more, you got this. Inhale, exhale, back. And then as you inhale up, this time you'll exhale, hands to mat, right foot comes back. Option to move to down dog, rest in child's, or take a vinyasa. We'll be here in downward dog just for a couple of breaths. Now would be a good time to grab a sip of water if you'd like one. Inhale, left foot lifts up. Exhale, left foot comes between your hands. Get your footing here, and then when you're ready, push into the left heel, and inhale, you reach your arms up. As you find your balance here, again, option to bring your arms to your hips. Maybe bend that back leg and then straighten it. You want your left knee above your left ankle, or roughly. Want to make sure you can see your left toe on the inside of your knee. And then we'll begin to find our movement again. So you can stand, just hang with your hands on your hips if that's working for you. Or you can inhale, arms up. Exhale, swing your arms back, bend forward. Inhale, reach. Exhale, shift forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward. 2 more of these. You got this. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. Inhale. And exhale, bend forward. Here we go. Exhale, hands to mat. Left foot lifts up and back. Option for a flow here, or you can meet us in down dog. Take a full breath in here in your down dog. Open your mouth, let it go. We'll do one more of those, but this time you'll flutter the lips. So inhale, breathe in. Keep your lips closed and flutter them. One more like that. Inhale, fill up. Exhale. Exhale, bend into the knees. Look forward. Make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Quick opportunity here to just, again, reconnect with your breath or with your water bottle, in my case. All right, we have one more bit of movement to do before we'll start to settle down on our mats. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, hands to mat. Right foot comes up and back. Plant your right hand and spin your left arm open toward the left. So you're reaching your left fingers high. You are resting your right hand on the mat, and you're pushing nice and broad through the chest here. Take a nice full breath in. Maybe lift your left arm a little bit higher. And then pay close attention here, because as we exhale, we're going to come into an extended side angle pose. So as you exhale, lower your left forearm to your left thigh. Spin your right arm up this time. Right heel comes down to the mat, so you're in a warrior 2 footprint, and reach up. You can reach up toward the sky, or perhaps you reach overhead, so you have one long line from the outer edge of your right foot to your right fingertips. Breathe. On your next inhale, you'll sweep up for a reverse warrior. So you're staying bent in that front knee, but now your right hand is on your right leg, left arm reaches back overhead. We'll rotate between these 2 shapes for a pattern of 4 breaths. So as we exhale, come forward into your extended side angle. Inhale sweeps you up for your reverse warrior. So 3 more of those. Follow on your own breath. And on your last one, after your reverse warrior, come down, windmill your hands down to the mat, lift your right heel, and then your left foot comes back to meet your right. This is your last opportunity for a flow, so get it in if you like it. All right. Inhale, right foot lifts up. Exhale, bring your right foot between your hands. Keep your left hand on the mat, and then begin to peel your right arm open toward the right. Maybe you look up toward your extended hand. As you push your hands away from each other, also pull your feet away from each other. Really engaging through the legs. We find our breath here to help us find some ease through some challenges. Now on an exhale, bring your right forearm to your right thigh. Spin your left heel back toward the left as you open your left arm up for your extended side angle. Maybe you reach your left arm up or overhead. And then on an inhale, reach up and back for your reverse warrior. When you're ready, we'll move with our breath. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. 3 more, like that, at your own pace. And on your last one, windmill your hands down to the mat, spin your left heel up, and then propel off of your left foot to come to the front of your mat. So your left foot comes next to your right, and then you're in a forward fold. So have this nice, juicy forward fold. Maybe you take ragdoll, grabbing opposite elbows with your hands, bending well into the knees so that your torso can rest on your thighs, allowing your head to relax, shaking your head yes and no, and then maybe rocking from one side to the other, letting yourself take a little break here. You're done with your effort. Now, can you give yourself the ease? Release your hands to the mat and start to walk your feet out so they're about as wide as the mat, and let your toes come off the mat, but keep your heels on the mat. This should be about the right width. You might need to scoot your feet in or out, but generally this is good. And then from your forward fold, bring your hands to heart center and slowly bend down into a squat. And your arms are going to come in between your legs so that you're pushing your upper arms into the inside of your legs. And then you're pushing your hands together. So you're in your Shavasana squat here. We're just here for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release your bottom down to the mat from wherever you're at. Bring your feet nice and wide. So we're going for a bit of a wide forward fold. So you might need to angle off a little bit, but bring your feet nice and wide. Find a nice tall spine, and then start to walk your fingers forward. And then maybe you release your forearms to the mat, or just release your hands and hang your head and start to let go a little bit of that tension that we might be holding on to. And then start to walk your hands toward your right leg. As you extend toward your right leg, start to just release a little bit. And then walk your hands back through center and now over to your left leg. Inch down any amount. And then inhale back to center. Walk your hands back. And then slowly, maybe you pull your knees in, just give them a little bit of help. They've been working hard for you. And then bring the soles of your feet together. And as you bring the soles of your feet together, maybe you scoot them in a little bit closer to your hips. And maybe you take a nice tall seat and that's plenty. Or you might want to bend forward, folding down toward your feet. Take a full breath in here. And a full breath out. On an inhale, begin to walk your head back on top of your spine. And then we'll come forward to all fours. And what you'll do is you'll cross your right leg over your left as if you were sitting in a chair. So it's almost like you're putting your right knee on top, like in front of your left knee. They're both on the ground and your feet are coming out facing kind of the opposite direction. So we're coming into cow face pose or Gomukhasana. And this is a good way to do it because then all you have to do is sit back onto your sit bones and then your feet are out on either side. Now this can be really intense and you might be like, whew, I cannot do this, which is totally fine. You can do the same figure 4 stretch that we did at the beginning. But if you're here, you might just walk your feet a little bit out to different angles until you get to a space where you can sit for just a few breaths. You might be able to lean forward a little bit. And we're going to take 3 full long breaths here. So we'll do the first one together and then you'll count for yourself. So first, we're going to just inhale here for 3, 2, 1, and hold for 3, 2, 1, and release for 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and then follow that for yourself. This box breath, this 4-part breath, the inhale, the pause, the exhale, the pause. Maybe you're noticing that on your exhales, you can release down a little bit more. After your 3rd breath, you can start to walk your hands up. You can lift your knees up or you can come forward. I'm going to lift them up and then come forward and we'll do the other side. So this time you want your left knee in front of your right with your feet coming out on either side. As you sit back, and then your knees will be stacked on top of each other. Your feet will be coming out on the opposite side. And to just help your feet in this posture, make sure you keep them flexed so that your toes are kind of pointing up and back. That just helps to keep engagement through there so that you can really focus on the hips. So then you might change the positioning of your feet to kind of get you nice and firm. And then maybe you start to settle in. And for me, this side is a lot harder than the other side. So I'm like, whew, okay, I can't fold quite as much. So just find wherever you're at, find your spot. And then we'll start that nice full breath again. Inhale for 3, 2, 1, and hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Continue with that on your own. Now when you're ready, you can inhale back up. Maybe lean back and bring your knees in toward your chest. And then scoot yourself down toward your mat. Go ahead and bend the knees in toward the chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze. And take any final movements that you'd like today. Maybe a happy baby, pulling your knees in toward your armpits, rocking from side to side, holding onto the outer edges of your feet. Maybe you would like to take another twist, since that's how we started class. Maybe you just want to start to move into our final resting pose, our Shavasana. Go ahead and extend your feet out long, maybe your arms by your side. Maybe grabbing any extra layers or anything to help you be cozy and comfortable. And then allow your eyes to close. Take a full breath in. And open your mouth, sigh it out. Shavasana. Begin to deepen your breath. Start to invite any movement to the body. In your own time, make your way to one side for one final pause in this limbo, this moment between your practice on your mat and between the rest of your evening. You're not quite there yet, so don't let your mind begin to wander. And slowly make your way to your seat, allowing your head to be the last to arrive, maybe keeping your eyes closed and finding your hands at heart center. Give yourself a moment to thank yourself for being on your mat today and for your efforts to grow and learn and change amid the inevitable change that's going on around you. Thank you so much for joining me today. The light within me honors the light within you. To this I bow and say namaste.